Hello. It's been a while. It has been a while. So November 2nd, I did Ironman, Florida. It was a long day. So what I want to do tonight is walk you through, kind of what, happened and, what went down, how I felt. 7:02 is when I hit the water. It was pretty interesting on the swim. So it was 1.2, the first loop, and then the second loop, made the 2.4. So I would say about 600 yards. It was real clear. And then once you got to, I don't know, third or fourth buoy, it got real murky, and it was pretty interesting to say the least. And then once you got to the last buoy, going out, and then you turned and went a couple hundred yards, and you swim back in, the water was murky, and then it got clear again, and at that point, you couldn't really touch bottom, but it looked like it was really close. So once you got back to land, they had you run over the time and chip, and then they cut you through this little area where there was water, and then you got to get some water, rinse off, get that salt water taste out of your mouth. And then you got to go back in for the second loop to get that 2.4. So finish that up, and then once you got done with the second loop, you went under these little washer things. It looked like a bunch of jets, and you got all that salt water off of you. And then you ran back to the transition, which was about a half a mile from the swim. So you were half a mile from the swim to the first transition, and then you got to sit in a room with a bunch of other men, and let me just say that was interesting too. So you grabbed your gear bag for your bike on the way to the transition, and then once you got that, then you got changed real quick. They had some chairs. You sat down in a chair, and then you went from there. After that, it was onto the bike. So then you went and got your bike, put your helmet on, put your gloves on. I had a one-piece suit, so I just used the same suit all day long, made by Roca, and, really enjoyed that. And then after that, it was pretty good. So I got on the bike, and I was on the bike for 6 hours and 49 minutes, 112 miles, 6:49. Real quick, let me back up. My transition from the swim to the bike was about 20 minutes. A little longer than I anticipated, but you had to run a half a mile, so that's 5 minutes right there. So after that, went on to the bike, like I said, 112. Not really to say about the bike, but it was a pretty good headwind the time that I was on the bike. I remember them sending us out like 8 miles on this headwind, going like 12 to 13 miles an hour. It was ridiculous. It was crazy. And then on the way back, it was like 30 miles an hour because you had the tailwind on you, and then you had just everything going for you. It was pretty amazing. Jumped off the bike, took your bike from you, thank goodness. And then they went back to, your bike went back to the rack, and then you grabbed your run bag, which had your tennis shoes in it, and you took your tennis shoes off, put your tennis shoes into the actual run bag, and your helmet, and then if you wanted anything, then you moved on. The next thing is the special needs bag. So you had one at 56 miles, which had some goodies in it. I had like a tube, some notes in there. What's some other stuff I had in there? Just some backup nutrition. And on the run special needs bag, I had, I think I had a Red Bull in there. I had a flashlight because I knew that on the halfway back it was going to be dark. So knocked the run out, had about probably 7-8 minute pace for the first couple miles, and then of course that didn't last long. And then ended up with a 10-11 minute pace. My average was 11 minutes because at the end there it was really tough. But the thing is though, I did not stop running the whole time. I set out, my goal was to do it in 12 hours. I did the run in 4 hours and 50 minutes. I wanted 4.5 hours, but 4:50, I'll take that. It was like 40 degrees, so I took that, so I was happy with that. Also, my transition from the bike to the run was about 6-7 minutes. It wasn't bad, it was pretty quick. So finishing up with the run, it wasn't too bad, especially once you got your special needs. You only had one loop to go. And then here comes the chute. And then you can hear Mike Riley telling the fellow athletes, "You're gonna be an Ironman." And I crossed the line at 13:41, I think it was, or something like that. So 13 hours and 41 minutes, I've become an Ironman. My first Ironman, chasing that dream since, 2013? 5 surgeries later, 2 foot surgeries, 2 hernia operations, and a cancer battle. That was one. So 2019 was my year. So, what am I gonna do next? I will let you know in a video to come, my next event I'm gonna train for. So, took a week off, started back training, kind of light for the past 2 weeks. Mondays is an hour bike ride. Tuesdays is an hour swim. Wednesdays, night off. Thursdays is open water swim, about an hour and a half, roughly. About 2.2 miles, almost 4,000 yards, somewhere around there. Friday's day off. Saturday is a bike ride, or if I work, I take the day off and just work because it's late when I get off. And then Sunday's a long run. Sunday's about 8-mile run with 8-minute pace. So 8/8 is what I call it. So that pretty much wraps up Ironman Florida, Panama City Beach, the training vlog. So I'll start a new vlog. I'm working on triathlon training for family and friends. Because going into this, you don't know what you're getting yourself into, especially with the family and the time. I mean, you're training 15+ hours a week if you're gonna do it right. And if you're like me, you train all year, but then your training picks up, and your training picks up for, I don't know, 12, 13 weeks, depending on the races on a Saturday or Sunday. The Ironman University, they have good training programs. Definitely reach out to them. Oh, I want to talk about the Boston Marathon. That's really a dream of mine. So, the Boston Marathon, you have to do a qualifying marathon to get into the Boston Marathon. So the Boston Marathon is a qualifier is going to be, I'm 40 to 44 age group, 3 hours and 10 minutes. Let me do the math real quick. I got it. 7 minutes and 15 seconds mile. And it gets better. Let me just look at my little computer here. Oh. Qualifying history. Pretty interesting. Anybody watching this, please listen to this. Please, please, please. Historically, runners who beat their qualifying standard by a larger amount of time are more likely to be accepted into the Boston Marathon due to the field limitations as well as a heightened interest in participation, a very cutoff time, a time below minimum qualifying standard for the age and gender has been established. Before is a list of when entrants needed to obtain a faster time than their minimum standard in order to be accepted into the race. So what that means is you need about a 7-minute pace. So you need about 3 hours or less if you're in my age group. So let's do 2018. Field size is 30,000. Cutoff time 3:23. Qualifiers not accepted 5,062. Do the math on that at $400 a marathon to qualify for. That's millions of dollars that people have spent that you can't even do it. I'm like, why would you spend all that money and then can't even qualify? So yeah, that's good. If you're in your age group, that's really, really good. So what you can do is 7-minute pace or something a little bit less, then you'll be fine. You got to have that little bit of a, like a 5 or 10 minutes, like, difference. That's better. So Boston Marathon. So Disney's a qualifier for me, which I can't sign up this year because it's already full. So you figure 26 miles for 7 minutes. That's crazy. So that's gonna wrap up this video, this segment, this vlog. So thank everybody out there that watched all my videos for this vlog. I'll be starting up a new one, and then I will let you guys know what my next event is gonna be. So of course, I'm working on the details on that. And always remember, be safe, have fun. You always gotta have a good time. So I would see you guys in the next video.